Alright, welcome to Robots Adventure. Come by. Drinking the guanis. The bubbles are going down. It's incredible. All finished. Come by. So, what's in today's adventure, Reuben? What are you going to do for us today? I want to do more videos and more adventures. I thought just I'd do just videos on stuff that my adventures. So today we have another 3D printing thing. A little bit of 3D printing stuff. So what happened, Reuben? So I've had this 3D printer for about 1.5 years now, and in that time I have not printed the cover for this, for the power supply unit. I was like, alright, well, I'll just print one out. And I could, try to just get something off of Thingiverse, which I'm on Thingiverse. If you want to find some of my models, you can find it there. Yeah, I wanted to just cover that up and do some more 3D printing modeling stuff. And while I was doing that, I was practicing playing around with Fusion some more, and yeah, so that's just fun to do and a good thing to do. I was working on a robot hand, and using the diameter of a 3mm off-the-shelf screw. I don't want to use any pins. I want to make and design a transformer that you can assemble, 3D print and assemble, transform and custom paint it, and that's been the dream for a very long time. But one of the problems is that the small figures have little tiny pins in them and stuff, and that's those molds for those figures are, that's a different manufacturing process, where it's in, like, the plastic is injected into molds, and the tolerance is very thin and stuff, and the price is pretty good. So those figures are made in a different way. You can make really small transformers that will transform, and the tolerances are sometimes pretty good. But if you're going to 3D print it, you can take forever and print really small, very small layers and stuff, but the quality is sometimes depending on the quality of your printer and the type of filament you're using, and you have to do lots of different parts, and if you screw up the print, then you wasted all that time trying to print. If you try to make it all in one mold, like one print that's like this, or a hand like that, and then you get halfway up and you're 3 hours into a hand, and then the print fails, then you're like, oh crap, now I got to spend another 3 hours, hopefully hope that the print doesn't fail, and then you'll have a hand or something. And that's the situation we're in. Or you take it the other way and you make the thing you want into different components that you can print out individually and then assemble it together. That way you can print out, say, the palm, and then if that fails, you only failed making the palm. You didn't fail at the fingers or anything else. And then you try to print a finger, and if that fails, then you can just reprint it. You don't have to print the whole palm again. You can make it in that kind of way, and that's the way I'm trying to make it right now. So I want to make it kind of big enough that I can assemble it using off-the-shelf components at the hardware store. Oh, I need a 22 centimeter screw, a 3mm 2 centimeter long screw. Okay, we have that. There you go. So, I'm playing around with my 3D printer again. Long story. Come back. And, yum, yum, yum. And I was going to print the power supply unit cover case. So, because right now I just have this thing over here, an off and on switch over here, which it doesn't come with, but the new ones do, sometimes. And I was printing out the thing. I snapped it because I was like, oh, this is crap. And I was printing it out. Let's see if I can put it back together like this. And this was going to be the front. And so the cables were going to go, you know, from the out through here and into the printer. It's like, okay, that's kind of good. But I was printing it this way. And then when it got to the walls, it was going to like be like a little box with one end open, and I can just put it on there. But it was a 5-hour print. I set it up to go to print overnight. So I was like, okay, it's going to print overnight. And I got that point, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go to sleep. And it started going up the walls, doing the walls, but then the filament broke. Yay! And there are new machines with filament break detection that will stop the print and then let you pick up again on the filament break. But another problem of another failure issue is if it misses a step, and then you'll get like spaghetti all over the place. So this was maybe 1 or 2 hours into the print. I still had 3 hours of printing to go. And then, so 3 hours with no filament going through the nozzle. I was just cooking the filament in the nozzle for 3 hours. So that was just in there, just melting, gooing, and I got a clock. So it snapped off in there, and I couldn't get it out. So I had to disassemble the whole assembly here. The stepper driver direct feed assembly. And this is the part where you get to... So, if you have a clogged nozzle, this video brought to you by Robot Adventure by Reuven and new flavor of riveting. Alright, so maybe I'll put something in the timer thing that says, and here's what you want to do if you have a clogged nozzle. So, the easiest way to fix a clogged nozzle is to take it off and replace it with another nozzle. Oh, really? Wow, that seemed really, yeah. So you could, and I've had a little bit of a clog before, swapping out different kinds of filament, and you get a little bit of bleed or mixing from the old filament into the new filament. And in that situation, you can get in there, heat it up, pull out if you can get the filament out, you can get in there with a needle or like a cleaning. I'll show you. Oh shit, something dropped. Get in there with something like this. These are specifically made for cleaning out nozzles. It's just a really thin piece of wire at different diameters, and you get in there and just poke around and scrub it out. That's what you can do. And I'll probably end up doing that later, but I just want to get back to printing, so I'm just going to swap it out with another assembly. The heater block, nozzle, and throat here with the heat break right there. And I've gone over this in another video. there are different types of heater blocks and different types of assemblies. And if you're shopping on Amazon or somewhere, you might not know which nozzle goes with your type of heater block, and yeah, you might get the wrong type. So this type of nozzle, the little flat one, works with these heater blocks. These are maybe a little bit old design. You see the new ones have a different design. And because you can buy nozzles on the cheap, I bought a whole bunch of nozzles. Yay, a bunch of nozzles. Alright. And lots of throats and stuff. A lot of heater blocks and stuff. Different sizes. So, if you're going to get, if you want to swap it out, I suggest get a whole bunch of this stuff. It's maybe, I don't know how much in parts. So these type of nozzles, these kind of longer pointy ones, work with a different type of heater block. Is it this type? Yeah, this type. You see, this is all one piece here, and you can put that into there, and then take your throat. They come in different types, all metal or nylon, and you can put that in there like that. Okay, that one works, but you can't do that with these types because the threading, the length of the shaft that's threaded is different. You can see there. This one has a longer threading than this one, so you need a thicker block than this one. So you could put that in there, but well, watch what happens when you take that off there and put in this type. The type. Oh, that's the type I have. On the wrong heater block. If I could get the screw, there we go. Oh, that's off camera, great. Now you're way off. Now you got this kind of, I mean it works, but it's not flush up against the heater block. So you're melting. Your heater block is nice and hot. It's cool over here, and it's a little bit farther from the nozzle. So you got a little bit of maybe radiation. I don't know how well your temperature control will be if you do this kind of setup. So maybe go with the stuff that it's already set up to work this way. See, that thing's right there, flush on the heater block. Okay, and that said, I suggest buying more parts so you can just swap it out instead of having to clean a clogged out throat like this. And what I'm gonna have to do is heat this up and then hold it and then poke something through there to try to save this throat, if I want to save this throat, or I can just get it, buy a new one. Yeah, maybe we're spending $1 or something. All metal throats. Here we got a bunch of throats. Here we go. Throats. 4 millimeter by. Oh, I think this is just different. Oh yeah, these are with the Teflon coating inside, and I think these all metal ones. Yeah, these are all metal, no coating inside. And I think this one's an all metal. Yeah, this one's all metal. So maybe I want to save that because I have to go order another one. And so what I can do is just bake it or leave it out in the sun, and then it gets really hot, and then I can start poking it. Oh no, this one's coated. You can see in there. So yeah. And that's what we're doing. Yay! So I'm going to assemble it, put it all back together. Getting this thing assembled is takes a while. And notice that here I did use the lock nut process here. Oh, God, I can't. To make sure the throat didn't move around. And I used a screw. I assembled it differently, basically. I went down from the top there with this screw, placed it back on the carriage, and then underneath I put a nut to hold it onto the carriage. The original design was putting a screw underneath the carriage and holding it down that way, but I reassembled it and put the screw coming in from the top, going down that way with the nut on the bottom, and another screw coming up from the bottom here up that way. And I just got rid of the hex nuts. This hex nut are nice, but if you get plastic in the hex nut, it's so hard to, you know, put this in there and turn it around. So I just went with a screw. The same threading. And another tips and tricks. You get a lot of these heater blocks with these kind of little black camera, Ruben, camera, right? You'll get a lot of these heater blocks with these little hex nut screws, Allen wrench screws, which are nice and cute and small. They're kind of tricky to find. I think they're PC parts. Or you can just go to the store and buy your regular old hex nut screw, like this one. And I kind of like these better because they have a little bit of a teeth on the outside there, or a groove, or not a bone. Man, my camera work is shit. Yeah, so there you go. It gives the pliers something to bite onto if you get plastic up in that hex nut more than just a regular screw. So you can still get some pliers on that and turn it, whereas a regular screw like this, I also got I got a bigger screw for this to hold it in the thermistor. If you get plastic or something up in there, it's kind of hard to screw out. Yeah, this one's a lot bigger because I wanted to hold the thermistor here. And using these little tiny ones, yeah, you can do it, but you gotta really pinch it in there. So, swap that out. And I'll be up and running in just a couple. So I'm going to take this screw out and put it in this other one, and take this screw and put it in this other one. Or I can just use this one. Dumbass Ruben. Yeah. So I took it apart. It was really hard to disassemble because it was all clogged up and stuff. And so I put it in the toaster toaster oven for, I don't know, like a couple minutes, and then I could pry it apart. I took the heating element out of it and just took the whole thing off and then put it in the toaster when it was still clogged up and glued. But now I can disassemble it and take it apart. But no fault of the heater block. It was, and the cause of all this trouble was shitty or bad filament. And that brings me to the next video I want to make, is buying bad filament or on Amazon in Japan or Asia or something. You know, what can you get? Which companies are good? Or from my experience, I don't know how many rolls of filament. They're about $20 a pop. I'd say I've got I don't know, like $500 worth of filament. I buy different colors and from different companies. Even though I've found a company that I like, a couple of them that I like, I still buy the other manufacturers just to see if it's any good, or if I like that one, if it's good. Almost out of beer. Yeah, so there's a couple of manufacturers out there that are on Amazon. They've been there for at least as long as I've been 3D printing. And some of them, it's a thing that they do on Amazon. I guess it's flipping or something. I'm not sure what it is. But, like, I'll see this company. Oh, here's a product. And I'll, like, put it in my bookmark to, I'll go check it out later. And then I'll see that they're all sold out. And then later I'll be searching. Oh, there's that product again that I know. And they'll sell a roll of filament for, like, $200. It's like, who's going to pay $200 for a roll of filament? I don't know, maybe it's made of fucking sweaty butt juice or something. It's like, sweaty butt juice filament, that's stuff I want. $200, here you go. But yeah, it's weird. And I don't know who does that. If it's, I don't know, maybe some companies don't know how much filament costs or something. Or they're just trying to scam, or I don't really know. But that's a video I'll make next time. But, yeah, so, clogging issue, swap it out with a different piece. It's probably the easiest way to go. But if you really want to get in there, you have to use a little, heat up the thing, heat this up, and then try to stick something in there. And as for the nozzle here, I'm going to have to swap it out. This was a hardened steel nozzle. So I've got more. I got a lot more. But, yeah. I'm going to have to replace that one. I don't know how much that costs. Like $1 or something? They're a little bit more pricey than the regular copper nozzles. So I do want to save that. So, yeah, I just get the wire and try to clean it up so you can't see anything through there. And so those breakage, and the filament in question was not this one, but the same company. It was this stuff. It was some clear filament, and yeah, it just snapped on me. And I got another roll from that same company. It's this one, and both of them have issues with the adhesion between the layers. So where is my? I don't know. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this one, it feels very brittle when the parts are made, and I don't know if that's just clear. I don't think it's just clear, because I have other clear things that. But I like the look, but it's just kind of brittle. And then it just broke there. Alright, that was a rambling adventure video. Trying to stay active. It took the length of one can of beverage. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. I'll show you some stuff that I've been working on. Check me out on Twitch, and if you want to find some designs, you can go to Thingiverse. I'm gonna make another video here soon of talking about the filaments, and I gotta get all the pictures of the boxes and the things and which ones are good and bad. So anyway, another video coming out soon. Bye bye.